Buenos días, esta es la lección para el 13 de octubre. Estamos en el segundo tema. En capítulo 12 se llaman las enfermedades y sus tratamientos. Estoy en página 370 o 379. We are in the second topic, which is starting on 369. Vamos a pronunciar el vocabulario y hablar de las fotos, and then I would like to do a lesson using the verb doler and talk about the two activities due for today. We'll actually spend 2 days talking about symptoms and treatments, and then Friday will actually be about the emergency room and injuries. Okay. So we will pronounce the words, but we'll also talk about maybe treatments for these. Alright, so first we've got un dolor de la cabeza. Si tienes un dolor de la cabeza, hay que tomar un aspirina o un paracetamol. También si tienes un dolor de un dolor de muelas, es un dolor de los dientes, hay que consultar la dentista. Un dolor del estómago. Okay. The verb desmayarse, to faint. También puede decir está inconsciente. Es alérgico. Si una persona tiene alergias, quizás la nariz tapada o es congestionada, la persona debe tomar un descongestionante. Should take a decongestant. If you have allergies, your nose might be stopped. También puede estornudar si tienes alergias. La persona dice salud, achú, salud. And the noun, el estornudo, a sneeze. Okay. The book differentiates el catarro resfriado with la gripe. So we have the difference between a cold versus the flu. And that is a much debated topic when you look at the symptoms between each. En el gripe tiene síntomas como un dolor de garganta, la tos, la fiebre. Si una persona tiene un dolor de garganta, la persona debe hacer gárgaras. Hacer gárgaras es una expresión, to gargle, hacer gárgaras con la sal. That's a remedy for sore throat. Let's see. La fiebre es una temperatura más que 98 grados Fahrenheit. La persona debe tomar muchos líquidos y también descansarse, to rest, descansar. Tenemos la frase, tienes gripe, you've got the flu. Te sugiero, I suggest, que no vayas a clase, that you don't go to class, y que te quedes, that you remain en casa descansando, that you remain at home resting. La presión, el pulso, two things that the doctor would take. Alright, you might have una herida. So this is the difference between looking at the vocab in your book and hearing it. It's very difficult to understand what someone is saying. Una herida, because the H is silent. Una herida, an injury. La cicatriz is a scar. Okay. These involve typically a corto, a cut, cortarse, el brazo fracturado, so fractured, enyesado. A yeso is a cast, so this is the adjective, enyesado. El esguince is a sprain, or the verb torcerse sounds like to twist, which is exactly that, torcerse, to twist, and you would use las muletas or el bastón as a cane. Okay, looking at the sentence here. Jorge se torció, there's your verb to twist. El tobillo el año pasado. Ayer se rompió. The verb romper and fracturarse are the same thing. They mean to break el brazo. Sus amigos quieren que tengan más cuidado. You'll notice in this chapter they really highlight the subjunctive. I'm mostly going to focus on the preterite versus imperfect past tenses. But typically, if you are getting used to the subjunctive, it is going to the yo form and switching the ending much like you did with your polite commands. So tener, the yo form tango, and then you made it tanga. And whenever you make a suggestion to someone, that's when you use the subjunctive, if you're getting used to that. Okay. I want to do a quick lesson using this verb doler because it works differently than most verbs, just like gustar. We would typically use gustar and say, me gusta pizza, I like pizza. But that really is saying pizza pleases me. Pizza makes me happy because you're using these, what are called indirect object pronouns. Me, te, nos. Me, te, le, nos, os, les. So me, you, him, her, us, vosotros, you all, and les would be the you all for ustedes or them. Okay, so you have this question here. ¿Te duele la espalda? To us, in normal English, we would be saying, does your back hurt? Did you hurt your back? And they answered, no, me duelen los pies. No, my feet hurt. But really, with the construction, it's my back. Is your back hurting you? You see how duele is in the third person, the he, she form. It has the E on the end. So it's saying, does it hurt who? Does it hurt you? And now we're saying, no, my feet. This en here is referring to say they hurt me. So kind of maybe use a couple notes here. So with this example, what I'd like you to see, if you say, me duele el estómago, it's really the wording, you gotta kind of read it backwards. The stomach, el estómago, it hurts who? It hurts me. In other words, my stomach hurts. Okay, if we tried another one, if we said, le duele la cabeza. If we read it backwards, la cabeza, the head hurts him. In other words, his head hurts. Okay, you basically have to read it backwards. Head hurts him. Try another one. How about, let's say, les duelen los pies. So we read it backwards. We have the feet. Now since feet is plural, it's really en because it's they hurt. Who? Les. Them. Okay, in other words, their feet hurt. And then maybe one more with nos. Nos duele el diente. Okay, so this would be saying the tooth on us hurts. Okay, or the tooth hurts us. Our tooth hurts. Alright, so it is a little backwards. It's just like when we use gustar. We say me gusta la pizza. I like pizza. Te gusta la pizza? Do you like pizza? Le gusta la pizza. She likes pizza. Nos gusta la pizza. We like pizza. Les gusta. They like pizza. Alright, moving on. Out of the way here. Alright, so it's not just the verb doler. It's the same with the verb romper. Romper, we typically say, I broke my arm, or he broke his arm. But in Spanish, it's basically the arm broke itself on our head. I know that's very strange. So we use romper, also like doler. And we have other reflexive verbs as well. Anything that you do to yourself, such you can make the verb poner reflexive by saying ponerse. Y se pone la bufanda porque le duele la garganta y hace fresco. So here we see the difference between using indirect object pronouns and reflexive pronouns, and I'll just write those out for you for a second here. Okay, so you see up there indirect object pronouns. These answer the to whom or for whom. Okay, so to me is me, to you, te, to him, le. Alright, so to me or for me, to you, to him or her, nos to us, les to them. Okay, those are indirect object pronouns. Okay, not to be confused with reflexive pronouns, and these answer something that you do to your self. It's basically the subject receives the action of the verb. So these are the me, te, say, nos, say. So for example, as we see in the example there, me, let's go with le duele la cabeza. His head hurts is how that translates, but it's literally the head hurts him. Okay, on him the head is hurt. And then if we use reflexive pronouns, like let's say you cut you as putting on a scarf. So se pone la bufanda. So he's putting the scarf on himself, se pone, because why? Le duele la garganta. So this is a great example here of seeing or where is it? Right here. Seeing the reflexive se pone along with the indirect object because the throat hurts, has a sore throat. Alright, so the two exercises that we will do for today's homework will be Actividad 5 y Actividad 6. But this isn't going to be a partner exercise where it has a student 1, student 2, estudiante 1, estudiante 2. It's just going to be you number 1 to 6, and you just tell me something that you would do cuando tengo. When I have a what? Cuando tengo fiebre, what do I do? And it's asking you to use words like siempre, always, generalmente, normally, and then a veces, sometimes, you could say nunca, never. So in the example, they used having a stomach ache. Cuando tengo dolor de estómago, generalmente no como nada. When I have a stomach ache, generally don't eat much, don't eat anything. Okay. This person in response, but you don't have to do a response, said, I neither eat anything. But sometimes, a veces, tomo té caliente y me acuesto. So, you know, you're individual, so you might do different things when you have a stomach ache. Here, cuando tengo fiebre, yo siempre what? Cuando tengo dolor de cabeza, what? Or cuando tengo dolor de la garganta, what? Cuando tengo tos, I don't know if I mentioned that word, but it is in our vocabulary. Tos is a cough. Cuando estornudo mucho, what? Cuando tengo gripe, what? And then cuando me duele la espalda, if you hurt your back, what is something that you could either say I always do, generally do, or never. And then there's a whole bunch of like possible words to help you with those, and these are all things to get used to in vocab anyways. Kind of looking through. Hacer gargaras are to gargle. Jarabe is cough syrup. Alright, and then finally, this is a matching exercise. And if you go back listening to my descriptions of the vocab, you'll hear that I've already talked about what to do if your molars hurt, or if you have a stuffed nose, or if you've sprained an ankle. Okay, so activities 5 and 6, and post those in one document under the tab in assignments. Okay, buena suerte.